Once you begin your walk with God, your future salvation in heaven now depends on the faithfulness to the grace that you have freely received. Have you ever felt like God was sending you some type of message? Maybe you've heard that still small voice inside your heart. God knows our hearts, whether we truly believe or whether we have doubt. Are you going through a difficult situation in your life? Remember, no matter what the situation, with God, all things are possible.
Throughout the entire Bible, we encounter different stories of God testing our faith. God desires our whole heart, and that's why humanity has been given a free will. The testing of our faith proves our willingness to obey His voice and confirms our love for Him. Speaking to our Israelite ancestors, God says to them, "Remember that the Lord your God led you all the way these 40 years in the wilderness to humble you and to test you, to know what was in your heart, whether you would keep His commandments or not." Like we discussed in our previous videos, faith is not a mental knowledge. Faith is action. Consider it pure joy, my brothers, when you encounter trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops endurance, and let that endurance have its perfect work, so that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. Obedience to God is part of our faith. Yeshua set the example for us. Although he was a son, he learned obedience from what he suffered, and, being made perfect, he became the source of eternal salvation to all who obey him. This same message of obedience is for all the followers of Christ. Remember what Jesus said. "Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, 'Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name, and done many wonders in your name?' And then I will declare to them, 'I never knew you. Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness.'"
These are people who do not have the law of God written on their hearts. They practice sin and walk in the flesh. Let us walk in the Spirit, so that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who do not walk according to the flesh, but according to the Spirit. Some may disagree on the biblical definition of faith, but belief that is merely a mental assent will do us no good on Judgment Day.
O foolish man, do you want evidence that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he offered Isaac his son on the altar? Do you see that faith was working together with his works, and by his works his faith was made complete? Abraham believed God, and it was credited to him for righteousness, and he was called the friend of God. You see then that a man is justified by works and not by faith alone.
You may be saying to yourself, how could I be a friend of God? I'm way too messed up to be God's friend like Abraham was. Well, I've got some great news for you. No matter who you are, where you've been, or what you've done, God loves you. Because while we were still sinners, Jesus, Yeshua the Messiah, paid the penalty for our sin so that we could live forever with Him in heaven. Would you like to be God's friend? Because you can. Take action and accept this amazing gift, because Jesus said, "You are my friends if you obey my commandments."